The premier endurance sports car racing championship in North America features the bravest drivers and the most famous automotive brands as they tackle the continent's toughest races. Round 7 of the 2019 IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship takes the series to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Bowmanville, Ontario. And the teams and drivers competing in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge will also be on track in Canada for their 5th race of the 2019 season. So, fasten your seatbelts because it's time to go sports car racing. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, a fixture on the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship schedule for decades, as well as Canada's largest sports car race of the year. CTMP is not short at 2.4 miles long, but with its fast and technical 10 different corners, the track feels like a short track and the action can come at you fast. As long as IMSA sports cars have traveled north and raced at CTMP, drivers, strategists, commentators, and fans alike have all described the track the same way: high commitment. This Canadian racetrack quickly gets quite crowded when nearly 40 of the world's best do battle on the tight and technical bull ring in Ontario. And despite a widening of the track after a repaving done back in 2003, drivers still use up every inch and don't mind using the edges of the track, or the edges of their competitors to get around a corner. The Canadian race fans that come out in the masses to support this annual sports car venture are rewarded with some of the closest, most intense, side-by-side, rubbin' is racing and beatin' and bangin' racing of the entire IMSA season. One thing is for certain though, from the blind crest of Turn 1, the huge drop into Turn 2, or the terribly tight Turn 10, a lap around Canadian Tire Motorsports Park will showcase how fast the cars are, how good the drivers can be, and how loud the fans will scream all race long. Jan Magnussen, driver of the number 3 Corvette Racing Chevrolet Corvette C7R, is the winningest driver at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in this weekend's field. Magnussen has 5 class victories dating back to 1999. 3 drivers, Oliver Gavin, John Bennett, and Colin Braun, each have 4 victories at CTMP. Corvette Racing has the most Canadian Tire Motorsports Park wins in the field with a staggering 11 victories between 2001 and 2014. Porsche is the winningest manufacturer at CTMP with 15 victories, but Chevrolet is close behind with 13. There is a strong Canadian contingent of drivers and teams competing on home soil in the Mobil 1 Sports Car Grand Prix. Cameron Castles from Coldstream, British Columbia, is entered in the number 38 Performance Tech Motorsports Orica LMP2. In the GT Daytona class, Scott Hargrove from Surrey, British Columbia, and Zachary Robichon from Ottawa, Ontario are sharing the number 9 Porsche for the Woodbridge, Ontario-based Pfaff Motorsports team. 2 other GTD teams have headquarters in Toronto. AIM Vassar Sullivan, which fields the numbers 12 and 14 Lexus RCF GT3s, and Compass Racing, which fields the number 76 McLaren 720S GT3. The number 19 More-Speed Audi R8 LMS GT3 will not participate due to damage from a crash during practice last Friday for the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen. Corvette Racing announced that Marcel Fessler will stand in for the regular Tommy Milner in the number 4 Corvette Racing Chevrolet Corvette C7R in the Mobil 1 Sports Car Grand Prix. Milner injured his hand in an opening lap crash on Sunday in the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen in New York. Additionally, Bia Figueiredo will co-drive the number 57 Heinricher Racing with Meyer Shank Acura NSX GT3 with Catherine Legge, taking the place of Christina Nielsen, who co-drove with Legge in every previous 2019 GT Daytona race. Last year's winner in GT Daytona at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Ben Keating, shares the number 33 Mercedes AMG with Jerome Bleekemolen. Keating tells and shows us what exactly goes into being successful here in Canada.
This track is so unique, it's so awesome. Turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 4 all fall away from you. You have big elevation changes, and because you're trying to turn the car, but the track is falling away from you, so you don't have much grip. And so this track is one of those tracks that in order to be fast here, you got to have some big cojones. That's the key to being fast at Motorsport or Continental Tire Motorsports Park. This place is crazy, but the AMG is so good because we got lots of big downforce. Big wing, big front splitter. This car is really good on the aerodynamic downforce, which helps push the car, push the tires down into the track when you're going around those corners. They're all fast corners. There aren't very many slow corners here. And so it's really about high speed traction out of the tires. And that's what the AMG does best. And that's why we won here last year. I think I might have qualified in second place last year. So we started from the front and we were able to keep it up there. We had great pit work. The team in the pits did an awesome job. This car is so nice to drive around this track. This is probably our best track for the AMG because of our downforce. It's really good to be back.
Hey IMSA fans, I'm Misha Goigberg, driver of the number 85 JDC Miller Motorsport Cadillac DPI VR, and I will take you for a lap around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So that's the start-finish line. Corner 1 will be flat in qualifying, not so much on old tires. Have to be careful at the exit curb. Corner 2 is what really makes this track. Huge downhill ride down the hill. Coming up to corner 3. Quick turn into the patch and look far. Car picks a little bit of understeer towards track out. Turn 4, it's a high-speed sweeper. It's easy flat, important to set up brake zone for turn 5. You throw the car into 5A and let the uphill catch it and then point and shoot for a good exit. Very important to get a good exit here, as that will set up a good passing zone into 8. Here you can relax, breathe, think of something peaceful, talk to your team, adjust some stuff on the steering wheel. Corner 8 is another high commitment corner, light brake and back to full power. Set up entry for 9. You have to carry good speed through 9 without compromising the exit of 10. You follow the patch around here for the last straightaway. And that's a good lap around CTMP.
My name is Zach Tasker, and in race control I am the replay operator. So my functions during all sessions on track is I report to the race director. I have a replay machine that we get all of the television feeds discreetly around the track, and we have a couple of our own cameras that we set up around the track. Those are all recording during all sessions. So I will sit with a former driver and we will review footage, incidents, and it is my job to go find every piece of evidence I can, give that to the race director, and then he makes his decision based on my evidence. It's really fun, it's stressful sometimes, it's fast-paced, you have to be really quick on your feet. I need to find as many different angles, because sometimes you'll see an incident and it's from one camera, like in turn 1, but turn 2 and turn 3, they have different angles, and there's onboards and there's aerial view, and those could all tell a different story than just one angle. So it's my job to get all those in a timely fashion so he can make a decision quickly.
This week, IMSA's Senior Director of Technical Regulations and Compliance, Jeff Carter, stops to talk about the changes to the GT Daytona and GT Le Mans cars heading into this weekend's race here in Ontario, Canada.
So this week, the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship north of the border, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. All 4 classes again this week, just like last week. On our schedule throughout the season, this is the only time we go back-to-back, one weekend to the next. So a lot of work between all the work that goes on with the teams and the cars and the officials here within IMSA. From a technical perspective and a balance of performance, we've only had a couple of small changes. In the prototype class, there were no changes at all. In the GTLM class, one small change to the Corvette. They receive 10 kilograms of weight. What does that mean really? That's 1, 4, 5 seconds. So just the blink of an eye, the difference in that class. In GTD, 2 small changes. One was 20 kilograms to the Acura NSX GT3. That car has been performing very well on the slow speed, medium speed corners. So that car had to be slowed down with the addition of weight. In the case of the Lexus GT3, that car didn't have quite enough fuel on board to go the same amount of laps as the other. So we've given that car 4 liters of fuel for this race. Now, when you come to Motorsport, it's an old historic track, very fast, high speed, long duration corners. What does that mean? Technically, keys to success this week will be to get the aerodynamic downforce just right, coming out of turn 5, the slowest course on the track, to the longest straightaway. So you want to be able to have enough downforce and mechanical grip to get a good exit off that corner, but not have too much downforce to affect the top speed. Also, tire management. Lots of tire wear here. Getting those pressures and temperatures just right will be a key to success here at Motorsport.
2 hours and 40 minutes of racing on the schedule here today north of the border at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's the Mobil 1 Sports Car Grand Prix, and we are underway. Helio Castroneves in that Acura Team Penske machine brings the field down to the green flag, and it's that blind crest down through turn 1 that the entire field has to have all that high commitment we've been talking about all weekend long. The field starts to sort themselves out behind Castroneves. There's Castroneves' teammate, the number 6 Acura Team Penske DPI machine, trying to hold off the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac, as well as the sister Mazda that qualified 4th to start this race. The field has already made their way through the opening complex of corners. 2 hours and 40 minutes, plenty of racing to go. You can't win it on the first lap, but all these drivers sure are giving it their best shot as they make their way down the long backstretch here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Pit stops now underway, about an hour into this one. There you see the Acura Team Penske machine getting service. It's Jonathan Bomarito and his Mazda teammate Jarvis leading the way right now, but Dane Cameron in for service, as well as the 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac of Felipe Nasser and its sister car, the number 5 Albuquerque, in for service as well. They're going to hold the number 31 Whelen Engineering car for quite a while, packing that Cadillac with as much VP Racing fuel as possible. There goes our leader, the number 55 of Jonathan Bomarito. Finally, you see the smoky burnout of the number 31, as well as its teammate from Mustang Sampling Racing, the number 5 of Philippe Albuquerque. Both cars making their way back out onto the racetrack after getting totally packed full of VP Racing fuel. Not sure if they're going to try to go all the way here. They're going to have to pit one more time at least. There's a good look at your leaders, Jonathan Bomarito and Oliver Jarvis, coming off a 1-2 finish at Watkins Glen, New York, just 1 week ago. There's a good look at the leading car in GT Le Mans. That's the number 912 Porsche 911, driven right now by Earl Bamber. He's got Jonathan Edwards not too far behind in the number 24 BMW. And then Edwards' BMW, Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan teammate Connor De Felipe running in 3rd. Checking back in now with our leaders with just over 30 minutes to go. Harry Tinknell trying to hold off the Acura driven by Dane Cameron in the number 6. That's the fight for 2nd. And here's a fight for GT Le Mans podium positions. Earl Bamber out in front, but behind him it's Jonathan Edwards, Nick Tandy, and Connor De Felipe. This is the kind of racing we're used to seeing in GT Le Mans, door-to-door down through turn number 1. And it's going to be the Porsche, it looks like, of Tandy getting around the number 25 of Connor De Felipe. That is for 3rd spot here in GT Le Mans as those drivers make their way out of turn 2, setting up for the fast right-hander in turn number 3. Oh, huge contact in the tires. Huge contact. That's the number 50 Juncos Racing Cadillac DPI buried in the tires. That looks like corner number 2, and it's Victor Franzoni who's in that car. Safety patrol already arriving on the scene. No idea what happened to the Brazilian driver Victor Franzoni, driving for the rookie team out of Indianapolis, Indiana. There you see it right there. Franzoni backs his number 50 Cadillac DPI from Ricky Juncos' team right into the tire barriers in the middle of a very fast and very technical turn number 2. Franzoni on the stretcher. Looks like he'll be heading to get further evaluations. Resuming the race for the lead here now, as it's Oliver Jarvis and Harry Tinknell. Roles have been reversed from 1 week ago in New York. Now the 77 out in front leading the sister car from Mazda Team Yost. Harry Tinknell in second, trying to hold off Dane Cameron in the number 6. Dane trying to work around GT Le Mans traffic. The BMW Dane's able to get around, but it's going to be too little, too late, as the final lap for the second weekend in a row belongs to the drivers from Mazda Team Yost. This time it's the 77 scoring the win as Oliver Jarvis brings the Mazda Team Yost Mazda RT24 across the finish line here in Canada. 2 weekends in a row where Mazda Team Yost finishes 1-2 on the podium in IMSA WeatherTech sports car competition. There you see GT Le Mans being scored, the win going. The number 912 Porsche, that's Earl Bamber, a dominating day for the drivers from Porsche Racing. And then we check in on GT Daytona. It's going to be the number 96 BMW from Turner Motorsports, driven by Bill Oberlin and Robbie Foley, coming across the line to score the victory here today in Canada. There you see it, the bright yellow and blue machine driven by sports car veteran Bill Oberlin. But it's all about Mazda Team Yost in victory lane here today at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship standings. DPI class. LMP2 class. GT Le Mans. GT Daytona. After an exciting round number 4 last week in New York in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge, Jeff Mishtawi explains to us the changes made to the technical regulations in order to keep the racing just as close here on track in Canada.
This is a back-to-back weekend race, so we just had come out of an event last weekend at Watkins Glen, coming this weekend into the race at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And with the semi-automated process this year for our balance of performance and data analysis, put 2 cars up for a potential change. So following the analysis at the Watkins Glen event, the BMW and GS was eligible for a change of an addition of the maximum we can do in a single change, which is 20 kilos of weight to the base weight of the car, and a small reduction in power. At Watkins Glen, we had introduced some new power curves for the Mercedes. We had to make an adjustment to that, move it to a slightly different power curve, as well as the new Porsche, which is a new car to the series. Even though it looks similar to the one that raced last year and the previous years, this is an all-new car. We were able to make a change after a single event and a reduction of 25 kilos over there. That's it. Other than that, it's the same as last weekend. We'll get through this one, see where that puts us.
Green flag flies here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for round number 5 of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge. It's the number 46 team TGM Mercedes, shared by Owen Trinkler and Hugh Plum, taking off for the lead. Here we check in our TCR category. That's the 17 of Mikey Taylor. That car scored the pole position to get things going here in Canada in Motul qualifying. And that number 17 leads the field here in TCR. Meanwhile, back up at front in the GS category, that's going to be the 15 of Ben Rhodes from Multimatic Racing in the big Ford Mustang, going right to the bottom in turn number 10 and taking the lead right away from Owen Trinkler in the number 46 team TGM Mercedes. And now Trinkler has to be careful and has to play defense because he's got championship rival, the number 39. That's Tyler McQuarrie, who shares that car with Jeff Westphal. Tyler McQuarrie right on Trinkler's back bumper as they roll through turn 2 and set up for turn number 3. But boy, it's Ben Rhodes in that number 15 Ford Mustang, who's already got an interestingly sized lead after taking that spot away just about a corner or two ago. Checking in now with our leaders in TCR, 17 of Mikey Taylor and the The rest of the field here really getting after it. This is the kind of racing we've been used to seeing in TCR all season long. Second season for these TCR machines to be competing in IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge competition. Those front-wheel drive cars putting on epic battles each and every time they get out on track, and you see that right here in front of you as these cars are going side by side, nose to tail, through some of the blind corners here at CTMP. Quick replay here as the number 12 and the number 3, that's the Alfa Romeo in the 3 car, getting together, rolling through one of the corners here at CTMP. Bit of debris coming off of the number 12 car. We check back in now late in the race, less than 10 minutes to go. TCR heating up for sure. The number 54 of Steven Simpson from JDC Miller Motorsports has the race lead. Can he hold off this entire top 5 of TCR cars? You see him swarming him out of turn 2, setting up for turn 3. Simpson doing a great job defending down to the inside, but that's going to hurt his exit speed as they set up for turn 4. They make the run down the straightaway, and there's a car off. And there goes our TCR race leader, Steven Simpson. Todd Lamb and the rest of the TCR top 5 make their way by. Now a live look inside the number 17 Audi TCR, driven by Mikey Taylor and Britt Casey Jr. Britt Casey Jr. taking the fight right to Steven Simpson, and it's going to be Casey Jr. muscling his way around the South African driver. Wow, huge move by Britt Casey Jr. and contact between Simpson and another TCR machine sends both of them sliding through the grass. But they're able to continue. Huge moment here with 3 minutes to go in Canada. Up front, though, Robin Liddell scores the victory in the Grand Sport category in the Chevy Camaro for Rebel Rock Racing. Kyle Marcelli comes home second, and Jesse Lazare brings the number 69 McLaren home in third. And in TCR, after that huge move on Steven Simpson, it's Britt Casey Jr. who shares that number 17 with Mikey Taylor, scoring the win here in Canada. Impressive drive for the team in that number 17 car. IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge point standings. GS class. The TCR class.
Hi, and welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. This is the Mobil 1 Sports Car Grand Prix Race Weekend presented by Acura. A gorgeous day, a terrific racetrack, and a huge crowd. Welcome aboard.
This is the meat of the season now, and this way is where championships can be won and lost.
3, 2, 1, give the command. Stand by for the start.
North of the border in Canada.
Green flag, green flag.
Let's go!
Go, go, go. Clear. All right,
You can't win the race at the first corner, but you can certainly lose it.
High cornering speeds, Cal. High closing speeds. The drivers will tell you it makes you kind of hold your breath.
Will Ehrman just dived down at the inside into 5B. Moss corner there. Gets into the side, and John Bennett escapes a little argy-bargy there, as we like to call it. Look at this move for the lead.
Off turn 5, off Moss corner, Elio. Bomarito. And Elio Castro Neves unwilling to give up, but he has no choice.
Yeah, that Mazda Team Yost got a ton of straightaway speed, and Jonathan Bomarito got a great run off the corner, was able to tuck behind Elio.
Great job, Jonathan. Slept 4.7. 4.7.
We keep hearing the word high commitment. You want to commit to a place. When you commit, you gotta go.
Oh, and a bashed in the door in the battle for the lead, going for a gap that was closing very quickly.
There was no room there. I guarantee if he would have spun him, that would have been a penalty for Trent Hinman.
Ooh! One of the keys to victory is hitting your marks, but when you get bumped off the line, it's hard to hit the mark.
Box this lap. Full service. Fuel and tires.
Pit stop's underway.
Staying in, right? You are staying in.
Get the benefit out of those fresh Michelins, and maybe over the course of the race, that'll give you a better delta.
Go, go, go.
73 Park Place Porsche.
Oh, just a big traffic jam there right at turn 9, and he's up and over the curb. Contact there with the 38 machine.
Yeah, high speed under here 1 and 2, but I'm still saving rears. They're going off pretty hard in 3 and 5.
There was all kinds of action going on down there.
He doesn't know Hawksworth there, turns back down. Hawksworth trying to get there, big contact.
Box now, pit now.
A bit of a bobble there for our leader.
There was a problem right rear.
Bit of a slower stop in the sister car. We got to keep saving fuel.
So Ollie Jarvis leapfrogs his teammate.
Rachel, sorry for the 55.
We see a battle here for the GTLM lead.
Connor Di Filippi side by side with Tandy. Tandy gets his elbows out, rubs up on the BMW. Durrani to the inside of Taylor, they rub.
Durrani is going around the outside and it's going to work. Pippo Durrani, the Dynamo's done it.
That's how you use GTD traffic to your advantage.
Oh, Brown is off. Whoa, that was a wild ride and lucky not to hit another car.
Yeah, that was really lucky that he just didn't T-bone someone who had no idea he's coming across the inside of the corner like that. High stakes action here.
Can you believe what's on offer here? Mazda, after so many years in the waiting, back-to-back wins. No team in GTLM history has won 5 straight. Earl Bamber could do that for Porsche, and Bill Auberlen could win his 59th IMSA race here today, one shy of Scott Pruitt's record. So much on the line. He dearly would have loved to have got Mazda's first win last week, but it won't matter, because Oliver Jarvis and Tristan Nunez will drive to victory in Canada.
Right, let's get some more this year. Thank you, guys.
LMP2, great run for both these guys. Dalton Kellogg getting his IMSA debut, getting a win. That's a way to do it.
Porsche continues its dominance of the GTLM class in 2019. Victory to Earl Bamber. He's a BMW icon, not only in America but around the world. Billy Auberlen will do it with Robbie Foley. He wins the GTD class.
Now he's one closer to Pruitt's record.
Half the races that he has started in his career, he has won. Quite extraordinary.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Action, action, action. All right, guys, we're going to do this. Will be the last take, please, if we can let that. We have Dave around.
I read the book, I was very moved by it, and then acquired the rights. And it's been over a 10-year journey to get to this point to finally be in production. For me, it was really important to get Jeff involved, to make sure that the credibility of the racing series and the world was depicted properly on screen.
My perspective is always just not to be an observer. I've really been a participant in racing, kind of putting people in the middle of things, giving them the true life experiences of what it's like to put a car on the edge, run against the elements as we do in the rain here.
I have a certain responsibility to take care of the series, the drivers and the teams and the manufacturers, and to depict this in a way that they're going to be proud of. At the same time, servicing the story. It's actually a new muscle to be flexing, and I'm really enjoying it. Although I'd like to be in the car, too.
Both of us would.
Roll it!
We want to portray it through a series that has these natural stepping stones from Continental to GTD to prototypes. So it kind of offered everything car-wise for us to tell that story. But we, at some point, had to drop into this event and really show it, and it's been awesome to be here.
All right, here we go, guys. Pictures up, please.
It's really challenging because we have a specific time that we can use the cars and the field and the track.
There's an event going on, so we have to be out of the way when we're out of the way and in the middle of it when we can be.
Tremendous support up here with the track and with IMSA and the teams, Turner, Wright, and the WeatherTech guys here have been really wonderful. And just the spirit within the community is something that I've always really appreciated. And to be able to work with them and their enthusiasm and ours has been really quite satisfying.
Good. All right, guys.
Thank you. A fast and fun weekend of racing here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is complete. 5 race weekends remain in 2019. Don't miss a minute of the action. Make sure you're following and liking IMSA Racing on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road on IMSA, The Road to Racing.